Hi, my name is Master Grill, and I want to make a short video on some of the strikes you're going to be using with your hands for the self-defense class. So this way you have a way to kind of get a jump on the class a little bit and see what some of the things we'll be covering so you can kind of practice a little bit before we get there. All right, so the first one is what we call a hammer strike. All right, a hammer strike is when you actually hit with the meat of your hand like this. So when you go to do the strike, you're actually hitting like this. You can use it like a short distance. So like say if your hands are up like, you go from here, please don't hurt me, don't hurt me. Your hands are from here, boom, you can do a quick strike right from there, like hitting the person on the nose and different targets we'll talk about. So you actually like a hammer strike like this. Now when you do that, when you do the strike, you can make it small, like that, where you hit the vulnerable spots, like I said, like the nose, it's a good quick stun shot. You can bring your hand back more to get more power into the strike that way. To get the maximum amount of power, but it's also the biggest, is where you bring it behind you, and then you bring your elbow across, and then strike that way. It puts extra snap and power into it. So you kind of hit that way. So facing the side angle, so like where you bring your hand behind you, and then strike. Like I said, like even if you hit the short range like this, depending on where you hit, it won't take a lot of power to do a strike. But you want to bring it back this way, and then hit going from there works really well. That's what we call a hammer strike. So they can go in downward directions. They can go at an angle this way. You can even strike to the side if you need to, like you want to break a rib or something like that. You could also cross it this way, so you could like strike, 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 strike. So now some of the good spots for a hammer strike on a person also to hit on the assailant is you can hit to the nose, like I mentioned before. The nose is a good spot because it tends to be relatively sensitive. And once, if you hit to the nose, it tends to make the eyes water and can disorient the person a little bit. So it can help in your escape. So another spot you can do is go for like the side of the neck. So when you go to the neck, you can do a lot of damage there and you can potentially knock the person out or worse. So you could actually hit to the neck sideways, kind of depending on where the person's at and what angle you are and what hand you favor. You can strike from there. So going to the neck is a good spot. Also, like going to the clavicle or the collarbone, right from here. So if you strike to the collarbone, it's actually the easiest bone in your body to break. A lot of times people break things, they tend to break the joint. But if you actually want to break the bone. So if you actually break the collarbone, what that actually does is it stops the ability for the person to use their arm. So if this collarbone is broken, this arm is basically useless. So if you can break the collarbones, it works good. So like a lot of people, when they go to like this strike, say if you start hitting the person in the chest, so you start like hitting them square in the chest, it's not really going to do anything because it's not a good striking spot to hit. So if you're going to like start wailing on the person, I would like to see like to the side of their neck. So you're just kind of striking that way. That works really, really, really effective. So you almost go for the V. You don't even have to aim so exact much. You're going to probably hit something very vulnerable right from there. So that's the hammer strike. Now, the next one is the palm heel. And I picked these two hand strikes for the self-defense class because they're the quickest and easiest ones to learn. So you don't have to do a tremendous amount of practice, and they kind of come pretty naturally for most people. Like there's like dozens of different ways you can strike. Even like a punch. The punch tends to be a little more difficult because there's 27 bones in your hand, and you don't really want to. It's easy to break them. Like if I said to smash the wall, you don't really want to hit it that hard with your fist. You can feel like it's vulnerable. But if I said like do a hammer strike, you feel like you could hit pretty hard, like you're smacking out a door or something like that. So now the next one, like I said, is the palm heel strike. Now the palm heel strike, what you're actually hitting with, is the base of your palm. So it's in front, but it's like this way. So where it's like your bone is behind, like the bone in your arm. So you're striking from here. So when you go to palm, you got to do it this way. So from here, strike, strike, strike. This is also a fantastic one for like the nose and stuff like that. You can go for like the body, like you want to go to like the ribs or something like that if you need to. Like if they're grabbing you and their arms are up here, but their ribs are open, you can strike. So notice I put my fingers sideways. So you can strike that different way. So that's ways it gives you your weapons and what to strike with. Right, I hope this helps.